Chapter 1. The Return of Giants. All of the tribal chieftains had gathered around beneath the roots of the mighty twisted bodark tree. They knew that the situation was dire when all former enemies had gathered to discuss a much greater threat. Then one of the chieftains announced to the entire gathering, "Giants have returned." Their faces were grim and pale, and they did not know what to say next. Neo, chieftain of the Queen's Forest, asserted himself forward to present his information to the large gathering. Neo was very tall, muscular, with burning blue, fiery eyes. He had the eyes of a hawk about to snatch up his prey. He walked perfectly erect, with his arms to his sides. "My scouts have just already confirmed from the city-states of Scorpion and Eagles that the giants have moved back into the Great Hollow." Rugby, the chieftain of the Savage Garden, got up and skeptically asked Neo, "Are you certain of this?" "Absolutely," Neo responded. The chieftains then began to sigh and murmur to one another, discussing what could be done. Little Elm, chieftain of the Wildfire, the youngest of the chieftains, then stood up and made her presence known. She was dressed in a thick coat made of moss, and her face was covered in dirt and red paint. Her ears were pierced with large red beads hanging down from her earlobes. She had a very pouty and very angry expression on her face. Her hair was dirty, covered in dried mud, and a few small twigs and leaves.
"Do you have any proof of this?"
she demanded. "Send out your scouts and you'll soon see," Neo remarked. Neo scowled at her and all the other chieftains. "Listen, we all know it's a matter of time until the giants make first contact with the interior city-states, and the giants are going to decide very quickly what they want to do with us. Not only this, but the moon cycle will soon be resetting." Neo paused. "We need to decide what we want to do about this, and very quickly." Little Elm looked up to Neo with a very intense look.
"No offense, Neo, but you bring nothing but your words and no proof of this giant."
Little Elm smirked. Neo rolled his eyes at Little Elm. "No offense to you, but you're too young to understand how fast a giant operates, and how quickly destruction takes place." Neo then looked over to the chieftains and said, "Now, my brethren, we understand what happens when giants appear. It causes war, death, and the burning of villages. None of us want to see that, do we?" Neo paused. Everyone's eyes were glued to Neo and what he had to say next. "If we are caught off guard, and our villages are destroyed, we could be stuck out in the middle of the wilderness on a possible black moon cycle. This does not look good for us," Neo cautioned. Everyone was quiet and pondered quietly, until suddenly, the chieftain of the Rushing Creek, Lifeson, stood up and said,
"Neo, as much as we want to believe this, you have no evidence other than your words. Our scouts have yet to arrive. We need more time to certify your claims before anything can be done. I'm sorry, we just need more time."
"We may not have time," Neo responded. End of chapter 1.